Hey everybody, Chris here. It's unusual for me to be the opening face on a video instead of Courtney, but something kind of just with weird timing happened. We have a segment of this video that deals with something we posted 9 months ago, and a lot of people said, well, this must have happened or this is the cause, but we didn't have visual evidence because it wasn't caught on video. So all we had was our testimony and best guessing and your comments. And then the video is scheduled to launch at 2 p.m. today. At 1:30 or something, Courtney says, hey, I just found a video that shows a very similar thing happening. Can we get it in? So we actually delayed the video. It's uploading as soon as I get this clip in there. And we just want to say that was pretty weird timing and pretty fun to have visual evidence that we kind of feel like exonerates us. For other people, they knew it all along. But cool to have it on video, so stay tuned and you'll see what that's all about. Anyway, I just wanted to give you a little update on why this video was delayed.
Folks, how we doing? Welcome to Good Works Tractors. Let's talk about open stations versus cab tractors. The pros and the cons, which should you get? It's a tough decision. I used to lean one direction and now I lean another direction. But I'm not against the one, I'm just more for the other. Anyway, you make your own decision, use this information, and hopefully it helps you at the end of the day. Now we're gonna lead off with maybe something that would deter a lot of you from spending more money. So I'm really just trying to save you money, and we're going to talk about a shattered door, is the other door, on my Coyote tractor. It just, the scene of the crime was right over here, I don't know, a few months back, 6 months back, maybe it was. It's been a little while. I was loading up someone and just had some forks on here and picking up equipment and moving it around. It was spring, okay? It was like 50 degrees, something like that. Open the door, it's like, hey, what piece of equipment do you want me to grab next? Okay, no problem. Close the door like I've done 1,000 times, and boom, just instantly shattered all over me. Like I was sitting in the operator station, just glass all over the place, okay? So that was, I wish I would've had it on camera, but I didn't. Pretty darn crazy, okay? And this tractor was only a few months old at the time. I was able to actually get that door, the cost of it, covered under warranty. I didn't buy the tractor locally though. I did pay for shipping to have the door shipped to us, but then it was super easy to put on, so that part was no big deal at all. So I don't have a cost, really a significant cost that it was a detriment to me, but if you had a cab tractor that was not under warranty or your dealer wouldn't cover the cost, well, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a $800 to $1,500 door that you're looking at getting there. So think about that. A quick note, some people were saying you can't have a single piece of glass like this for the door, it's just too big. That's why that Coyote door shattered. Well, this is a Kubota M5-111, okay? That's what this tractor is. That's a single piece of glass on here too. So that is not the issue. That's something I just wanted to point out, just kind of jumped out at me. But that's concerning, right? Like, why did that door shatter? Like, seriously, there was nothing weird that I did about that. And contrary to popular belief, no, I did not fart inside my cab tractor, okay? But seems I can't get away from that. But there's other folks that said that maybe I had a rock or something that just got stuck right in the wrong spot, and just boom, it just caught it wrong, or maybe it's pressurized incorrectly in Coyote tractors, or it was a big temperature change, or I left the door open and the wind, a wind gust came and knocked it. Maybe it's just Coyote, right? But lots of folks said my brand, X, Y, and Z, John Deere, Kubota, Case, Massey, whoever it is, did the same thing. So I don't think it's really relegated to just being Coyote. I also talked to the Coyote dealer, I talked to a Coyote territory rep, and I spoke to Coyote Corporate USA and asked all of them if there was any kind of a recall or a known issue that was going on with Coyote glass doors or windows shattering, and there wasn't anything out there as far as I go. So there's instances of it occurring, right? But those instances are still few and far between. And well, sometimes manufacturers, any of them, John Deere, Coyote, Kubota, it takes a pretty high number of occurrences for them to do anything about it. So maybe that is the case, but I don't know. That's the first time I've had a glass door or window shatter on me. It's the first time and hopefully the only time. And I will say, every single time I close the door now, I wince just a little bit. Folks, we are proud to be sponsored by Rimguard Solutions, a liquid ballast weight. It goes right inside your tires, completely hidden. Not only is it going to help with safety, keeping those rear tires planted on the ground, it helps with loader efficiency and traction too. The benefits of Rimguard include being the heaviest all-natural liquid ballast weight on the market. It's not going to corrode your rims like the old calcium chloride. It's not going to freeze, and it's available at over 1,000 dealers nationwide. Find the dealer near you at rimguardsolutions.com. Okay, so moving on, what are some other big considerations when you're thinking about open station versus a cab? Of course, cost is going to be the biggest consideration. Depending on the manufacturer, you're probably looking at $5-6 grand bare minimum, and then it could be as much as 10 to 12 grand at most, you know, to add on a cab, to go from an open station to a cab. Not every brand, well, I should say not every model of tractor is available in an open station and a cab. The 1025R, you can't get a cab with air conditioning in it. You can get a factory cab, the Mauser cab, that has heat only. Same thing with the 2025R. Coyote, most of their tractors are going to be available in open station or a cab, but again, it just varies, right? John Deere has certain series of tractors like the 3E tractors or the 3D or the 4M. Those are open station only, but the 4Rs, the 3Rs are available with HVAC cabs. You know, and so it's just going to be a mixture across the board. So you got to know what you're looking at and realize that sometimes if you want a cab, it's going to be on a more premium model that's more expensive to begin with, and then you add the cab on top of that, and it's a lot more expensive.
I want to take just a second to tell you about this small business. 511 Grill Guards are custom made for John Deere, Kubota, and Coyote tractors. They provide more coverage than OEM, are made from thicker steel with smaller holes to minimize debris sneaking past. Many models even offer side and bottom guards for ultimate protection. 3D scan for a precise fit and coupled with a thorough powder coat finish create the gold standard in its category. Shipping is included in the price, and best of all, you can save an extra 5% off your order with code GWT. Protection never looks so good.
So on an open station, you know, it is going to be easier to get on and off the tractor. There's no door that you have to open up. They just tend to feel like you're not as constricted as much, although a lot of cabs, for most people, are going to have plenty of room in them. But the visibility, while it's pretty darn solid in most cab tractors, you still can't beat the visibility you can get in an open station tractor. I mean, all the way around you, it's as easy as it's going to get to see whatever you need to see. You can hear better on an open station tractor. You know, the sound's not reverberating really, I guess, inside of a cab, a good quality factory cab, but it is muffled a bit, all right? And so you can still hear the engine noise, okay? But you can't quite hear your outside surroundings as well. And so if I'm mowing or tilling, oftentimes I do like to see, or I guess hear, I should say, what's going on back there, whether I've hit something or maybe it's slowing down, bogging down, that kind of thing, where it's not as easy to do inside a cab as it is in an open station. Now, you know, a lot of us do like to feel like we're kind of right out in nature as well. And so if you're on an open station tractor, you're right out there in the elements. I mean, you're dealing with whatever is coming at you. So that could be good and bad, you know, and that's going to be almost a transition into could be a pro either way. It could be a pro for the open station or for the cab, because if you don't mind that, right, and you enjoy that, or you welcome it, or you just want the experience of kind of what Grandpa was going through 70 years ago, then it's right up your alley, you know. So on the flip side, in the cab, you're not in those elements, whether it's the sun beating down on you, whether it's ground hornets that are coming at you, whether it's allergies or snow or wind or rain, you know, a lot of different reasons there that a cab may be worth the premium. Because if none of those things are bothering you and affecting you, and you're in a climate controlled environment, then it's, you know, maybe you're going to be out there longer, getting more work done more comfortably. You're not going to get exhausted as quickly or frozen as quickly. So you're going to be able to withstand the elements quite a bit better, just like in your vehicle driving around, right? We're not buying convertibles to drive around in the wintertime either. So there could be something to said for that case too. I mean, I've been stung by hornets or wasps. I've had serious allergy problems out here. I mean, it's been freezing cold in the wind that it's just you're trying to get back inside as quick as you can. And so with a cab tractor, it does. It's kind of a game changer as far as that goes. You can spend a lot more time comfortably in your tractor and get a lot more things done as well that way. And one thing Chris mentioned in particular as an advantage about an open station tractor is that you can, on the smaller machines, you know, even it's a simple fact to reach back and unhook or hook up a quick hitch to an attachment when you're changing them out, that kind of thing. That's, you know, something small, but it is something you can't really do. I mean, you can open the rear window, but it's not the same. You can't really do that in a cab tractor. So something worth pointing out there. Okay, so kind of transitioning now, you know, and Chris and I were just talking about this, but in a cab tractor, I mean, you can put some music on, you know, you can listen to an audiobook, you can have a phone call if you want to. I mean, not that there's not background noise, okay? It's not like it's that quiet right there, you know, there's still noise that's there, but it's very easy to, you know, whether you're using the speaker system or just throwing some AirPods in. Whereas if you're on an open station tractor, it's a really good idea to be wearing hearing protection all the time. I mean, this stuff, it's, you know, I wish I would have paid closer attention to protecting my hearing years ago, but I definitely do now. So that's a big advantage as well, especially if you're going to be on your tractor more and more, you know, with more exposure potentially being out there for you. So another one that's actually, you know, you would kind of think it falls into the shattering glass situation too, but you know, we've had tillers, had mowers, whether it's brush hogs or flail mowers, that kind of thing too, where there's debris that's kicking up and flying around, or maybe you're going through the woods and yet there's branches that are going back and forth and other obstructions too. And I've taken tractors through the woods a ton of times. I've never had a branch break a piece of glass or anything, but that extra protection there, that's just keeping all of everything, you know, at bay, and instead of hurting you in some way or getting in your eye or something else, is just another benefit there of the cab that it's hard to measure because it's different for everybody, but if it saves you one or two times, then it's kind of a big deal. So a couple of downsides to a cab tractor over an open station. You can see this roll bar here, okay? Now, it's almost as high as this much bigger cab tractor here, but the difference is that the roll bar can fold down, and so you can get that into a shorter garage or, you know, overhead obstruction, so you can get underneath there and park that much easier. And these will fit into a standard 7-foot high garage, whereas I can fit this in a standard 8-foot under an 8-foot door, okay, but not a 7-foot. And that's going to be the case with most cab tractors, is they are not going to fit underneath that standard 7-foot high door. And so that's a big consideration to think about. Now, a lot of guys leave their equipment sitting outside. I mean, they are tractors, you know, you got to watch for fading, got to watch for wear on your hoses, all your rubber surfaces, even your tires, that kind of thing too, the black surfaces. You know, it's another consideration, something to think about where you're going to store it, because if you do pay that big premium for the cab tractor, you probably do want to keep it undercover when you're not using it. Now, the last negative thing that I would say about cab tractors are that they are going to raise up the center of gravity. You know, you're going to have more weight that's up higher, okay? So the higher your weight is, the tippier it's going to feel. And I think that is going to definitely vary from tractor to tractor, from manufacturer to manufacturer. I think that the Kioti tractor, this is a DK 6010. This is a very stable tractor. Now, I have rim guard liquid ballast. I've got wheel weights. I put suitcase weights on the back. I'm very big on ballast and making sure that center of gravity is as low as possible to keep myself from tipping over, right? Not really fond of that. So, but it is something to be aware of, okay? Not much weight going on up here. This Rhino hide canopy, if you have an open station tractor, get yourself a Rhino hide canopy. This thing's super lightweight. The whole canopy only weighs 30 pounds. You can take it on and off for storage if you need to, or trailering, that kind of thing as well. But tractorcanopy.com for that. But there's not much weight up here, right? All the weight's down here. So it's going to naturally be more stable versus you have a good chunk of weight up here. And so if you're not riding along on smooth ground very often on a tractor, so you're kind of rocking around, you know, I'm exaggerating a bit, but that weight and momentum kind of work in tandem and bad things can happen. So I think I've said enough there, but it is a consideration. Now, generally speaking, on cab tractors, you're going to get a set of mirrors, or most guys, like I know John Deere, it's an option on there, but these are welded on, these brackets. So I'm assuming that they must come standard on the Kiotis. I've never seen their cab tractors without them that I can remember. So Front work lights are typically standard on cab tractors as well. Rear lights, sometimes are standard, sometimes are optional, but those are nice things, you know, so you have work lights that are mounted up higher for better visibility versus, you know, their work lights on this 1025R. I'm not talking headlights, but the fender mounted lights are down here kind of behind the loader arms and the bucket and everything, so they're not all that useful. And then of course the rear lights up there are nice to have too. So not huge, you know, in the grand scheme of things. And it's like, oh, I'm going to get a cab because it's got mirrors and lights. You know, I don't think anybody's making a decision based on that, but it's just one other thing that kind of helps maybe sway your decision in a certain direction or not, if it matters to you. So in my younger days, I definitely preferred an open station tractor. I liked it for all the reasons that I mentioned, that are the pros. And it was just the way that I bought my tractors and used them. And there are times, I would say the biggest inconvenience for me personally with cab tractors, which are what I like now. I mean, pretty much all my machines are cab pieces of equipment, whether it's tractors, skid steers, UTVs. It's pretty much all cab tractors now with AC and heat. But the biggest for me inconvenience are the doors, just the opening and the closing, and it's not that big of a deal, right? I mean, these are real first world problems, but the getting on and the off with the doors is kind of annoying. I do like just stepping right off one of these open station tractors, and it just feels more efficient. But that's the downside for me. I don't mind the cost. When you go to sell a tractor, you're typically going to recuperate most of that cost comparatively anyways, whether it's an open station or a cab. So that's not much of a consideration. But yeah, I've gotten soft in my old age, and it's okay. I can admit it. So there's a lot of I'm not the only one. So I get a lot more work done. I get a lot more enjoyment out of it though, listening to an audiobook or a podcast or something, and get my work done in comfort and not going inside and having to take a shower every time I'm using it. So on that note, I want to thank you for stopping by. I hope this helps you make a better decision in the future. At least gives you some data points, some things to think about when you're trying to figure out what way to go. You know, the open station sure can buy a lot of attachments compared to upgrading to just that cab tractor. So I totally get it either way. On that note, if you're looking for a tractor or attachments for your tractor, or both, we can help out. We ship all that stuff nationwide every day of the week. That's what we do. If you're not sure what to get, shoot us an email. We're happy to help. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to stop by, and until next time, stay safe. We'll see you soon.